start from Shakespeare. A Halloween monologue with a list for Rick Conley. Down from Reno. Driving all night in Toad Hall, a strange-looking psychedelic house truck with day-glow mushrooms on the hubcaps, a 3-foot paisley lizard attached to the cab, and a covering of celandine flowers painted like a field of poppies. Driving all night in this locomotive diesel freak, just begging to be busted, drawing stares even in the hate. Driving all night from Reno in early June of '68, Bobby Kennedy 2 days dead. Driving through San Francisco and Berkeley, twin cities of my angry cosmic roots, to pick up some weed. Driving all night on my way to Mexico, tired and stoned, nervous and paranoid. The search and seizures behind me in Reno, front door busted down just after I left, holed up in a basement for 2 days. My friends jailed by cowboy cops for possession of marijuana, the devil flower grown on Satan's windowsill, the evil resin made in Moscow to make America mad. All of Reno shotgun nervous about them crazed long hairs trying to screw her daughters, smoke that thar pot and take over our state. Driving on and on, my scattered thoughts bouncing behind me like bits of styrofoam on the side of the road, my hopes trailing behind me like exhaust, and pulled over at 6 a.m. at Newport Beach by stodgy, burly cop in a foul mood, welcome to Orange County, and he had a red jowl, twisted lip sneer on his face to let me know he hated me, that he believed in the John Birch Society, that I was a sniveling bastard, commie, scumbag, cesspool, snot rag. Other than that, have a nice day and drive safely. And he really didn't like me. The kind of bad luck chance meeting that freaks had nightmares over, especially if you were holding, which I was, nothing much, a couple of ounces of weed, some hits of mescaline wrapped in tinfoil somewhere, and the chaotic mess behind me that the cop was now pinning, his eyes dancing like dervishes as he tried to figure out what god-awful mess of an orgy had happened back there in this rotten pervert's commie truck, filled with sleeping bags, filthy clothes, women's panties, books of poetry, tarot cards, the I Ching, gardening tools, a Volkswagen engine, and 2 16-year-old one-way chicks I'd picked up hitchhiking in San Bernardino, who I now hope wouldn't make a peep in the beat-up mattress they had scurried under, and Toad Hall reeked of incense, patchouli, old pot, hash, opium, DMT, BO, who knows. And one of the cop's eyes narrowed into a slit as if he had shut a blind dark in a room, and he tugged at his chin with pink, stumpy, nail-bitten fingers that looked like they had been marinated in Cheetos. And I watched a wave of rumination roll across his scowling face like a silent rumble, the wrinkles on his sunburned Alabama forehead rising like swells. And I realized he'd never looked directly at me, everywhere else, anywhere else, but not in my eyes. And I had the power here. He was seeking the cool, graceful, dominant exit. I was simply too crude for him to have to look at. He might catch something. He might be beamed up to planet psychedelia by insanity rays in my stoned eyes. There might be a brain-melting zapper crouched behind my corneas waiting to pounce. And he stared at my driver's license, shifted his weight, looking back at his squad car, listening to the radio squawk, and I knew he was going to leave. But one of the teeny boppers suddenly iced my heart by calling out, "Hey, Mr. Policeman, look!" And we both turned to see 2 beautiful young girls, bare-ass naked, tits gleaming, beavers beaming, spread like open roses in the new day sun, just 3 feet from the stunned cop and myself, and the one whose name was something like Aspen Leaf pointed her finger at me and said to the cop, "We're only 16 years old and he fucked both of us." And they screeched with convulsive laughter. And I was just going to extend my hands to the cop so he could slap on the cuffs and put me away in solitary forever when he handed me my license, mumbled something, and walked away. And I shot my head back into Toad Hall, and the girls were quietly stashed just as they had been. I'd been hallucinating. I'd flashed mightily on the DMT, which will do that to you. And the cop, who wouldn't dare look at me, hadn't seen my quivering face turned to gelatin by what I thought I'd seen and heard. And I put my shaking hands on the steering wheel, tried to take a deep breath, and immediately made plans to dump Aspen Leaf and Flower Drop, or whatever their names were, at the first stoplight, stop sign, off-ramp, whatever. But the little bitches refused to get out. And one of them said to me, "You're a real drag, man. And we thought you were righteous. We were wrong. You really lame, man. We thought you were going to score us some pot and beer. Now you're all freaked out because that pig hassled you a little bit." And then the other one chimed in, "Yeah, you're like really chicken shit, man. We saw you scoping on our tits when you picked us up. But now you're all freaked out because we're only 16. We wouldn't fuck you anyway because we heard all you hate-Asbury freaks got the clap and crabs and scabies and all that shit." And so we headed for the naked beaches of Mexico, a 21-year-old freak and his runaway 16s, hell-bent on the new pagan moon, with all the religions, all the suburban tract homes, San Bernardino, San Fran, Berkeley, Reno, and all the ties of conformity trailing behind Toad Hall like a smoking parchment, like a monster bong tote, like a burning book of American lies. Thank you.